featured the UK government dropping taxpayer cash on an online game to warn teens about far-right extremism. But it backfires so hard that the purple-haired goth girl villain, meant to be the scary radicalizer, turns into a viral icon for anti-immigration views. People are memeing her as based, making AI art and calling her waifu. This is Pathways, prevent-funded tool that's been pulled after the internet flipped the script in January 2026. And it's not the first time. Remember Dustborn, the EU-funded game where the woke elements were so over the top that mocked the left itself? Same vibe. Propaganda meant to scare people away ends up boosting the opposite. So why did the government back an anti-extremist game and then turn its dad-head goth antagonist into a right-wing meme sensation? Who is Amelia? How does this game push propaganda on migration skepticism, and why was it taken down? And why was it a massive backlash, and including something like with Dustborn? So if you don't know what Pathways is, it is an interactive visual novel-style game funded through the UK's Prevent Counter-Extremism programme via groups like Shout Out UK and Hull City Council. It's aimed at young people simulating university life and online interactions to teach about radicalisation, basically showing how far-right ideas spread. Main bad guy is Amelia, a purple-haired goth e-girl with a choker, pink dress, alt look, who's the antagonist recruiting your characters, Charlie, into anti-immigration activism. She pushes views like questioning mass migration, protesting open borders, or criticising cultural changes. Choices that leads to extremism, flags, threats of prevent referral, or even anti-terror scrutiny. It's designed to frame normal concerns about immigration as dangerous red flags for radicalisation. Devs made her too appealing, edgy, attractive, confident. So when the game leaked online, right-wingers played through, picked the bad options on purpose, and declared Amelia based. Memes exploded, AI art, fan edits, even stable diffusion models. People joked she's the hot goth girlfriend who knows what's up about demographics. The game got restricted or pulled by mid-January 2026 after the backlash turned into a recruitment tool for the views it hated. This is quite similar to something that happened with Dustborn. Another funded flop where propaganda backfired, the game in 2024 that was funded partly by EU grants, including Nordic Game Programme and others, as a narrative adventure about resistance and identity. It featured heavy woke elements, anti-fascist themes, diverse casts, critiques of conservatism, but the writing was so on the nose and cringy that many saw itself as a parody or right-wing satire. Critics called it a game made the left to mock it themselves, with the other top characters and the plots that alienate even progressives, while giving ammo to the right. Pathways mirrors that. Prevent funded to demonise migration skepticism by linking it to stereotypical alt girls, but it humanises her and made it the extremist path look reasonable or cool. Both show how out of touch bureaucrats create propaganda and that it backfires. Dustborn became the punchline for woke game fails. Pathways, a meme factory for anti-immigration sentiment. So what does this say about government propaganda and online culture in 2026? These flops reveal how naive top-down efforts are in the meme age. Prevent wanted to scare kids off far-right ideas by associating them with a goth girl, but the internet flipped it, embracing Amelia as a symbol of pushback against mass immigration or woke overreach. Dustborn tried to push progressive narratives, but ended up highlighting their absurdity. In 2026, with immigration topping polls and distrust in institutions high, this kind of thing fuels cynicism. Taxpayer money on tools that alienate rather than educate. It risks making a future counter-extremism harder. People see it as a nanny state and it brainwashing. The dyed-haired goth became proof that propaganda can create the monsters it fears. And as well, if you look at the meme seed from government tools to actually right-wing waifu in these days, shows how online culture subverts official messaging effortlessly. And it also spotlights the prevents ongoing bias critiques, focusing on one side while ignoring the others. and now accidentally boosting it. So anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video about me talking about Amelia. I know this video is very short because obviously there isn't much to go off this video game. There are some certain features that I did notice about when you choose certain choices, and as well when you look at the art style of the game and you look at all of the, like for example, the diverse characters, such as like one of the characters is like a Muslim, and you can tell like they have this weird art style where they make her look like a literal man. And a few of the other things, like there was a few features in the game where basically someone would notice that someone who was more diverse than them actually got better, higher gradings than the person who was non-diverse themselves. And it's just this paradigm with quite similarly what happened with Dustborn, where you have all of these like on-the-nose stuff, and it's very disconnected from reality. But I think when the government tried to create propaganda, I think that what's happened is that one of my American friends has noticed when you blend cultures together. So what's happened is that the internet is basically culture now. You know, people can make their own media. It's way easier for people to get in touch nowadays. And when it comes down to essentially it's merged. So what's happened when you look at crazy internet conspiracy people online, it kind of like when you look at propaganda, they try to put those people in, but they seem like they're the reasonable ones. They seem like they're the people that are actually, the ones that are actually on your side rather than against you. And again, this whole isolationism that you see from the propaganda, where if you do play these games and you're not red-pilled, like even a normie would start to notice these things. Like, it's like, oh, okay, this is very odd that they're having these certain decisions. And as well, when you actually pick the bad decisions in the game, like it makes you look like the villain. And even when you do that, apparently it actually contacts or even refers you to the, I think, the government or the extremism, which is just ridiculously draconian. And as well, this is very shocking that the government would try and even do this. And as well, someone who is quite close to the area of Hull, I know that even that something like, why would the Hull City Council even fund this? This is like ridiculous. It's retarded propaganda, and you've got all of this weird things within your game, and quite similarly to Dustborn, where you had all these diverse people. But if you look at the characters within that game, that was also funded by EU and this Dutch company, I think it was the Nordic Games I mentioned, where you had all of the things that were too on the spot. You know, it was like a shitty Guitar Hero thing where they would do certain songs saying about being Dustborn and about it being immigrants, but a lot of the people or the characters there are so on the nose that they just didn't even like each other. They would just be abusive towards each other. They would basically just be horrible to one another or narcissistic, which is ironic considering a lot of the left do have dark. And I just think that each time the government tried to make propaganda now, it's just not going to work. People are too skeptical of institutions and all of the things that are failing. And I think when it comes down to these games, it's just, I guess we are living in that type of dystopia, but I like how people are fighting against this type of propaganda, especially online. And as well, if you want to click on these videos here, where I've got links to my other videos where I talk about this, including Dustborn and wokeism, I talk about those a little bit more in detail. And before I click on this video, I have a link in the description below, links to my other socials and also my Discord as well.